meeting for December 14th, 2021. Ms. Sanchez, you have the invocation.
Good evening. Tonight I'm going to do a personal invocation on my about self-care and mental health. And due to the pandemic and the challenging times that many of us are facing today, and we have been for the past couple years, if not longer for so many of us, I want to do some self-reflection on the well-being of all of us. It's time to decompress. It's time for us to be role models and show our children that we can be examples for them. Let's put our cell phones down. Let's put our computers away and stay off of social media so they can see that we are there for them. This will also help us and help us reflect on our own selves. Each of us have something that we need to work on, and it's time for us to spend time with our families. And this is not something just for everybody in here, but us as well. We all are guilty of it. And we see a text that comes through and then we stop, or the kids have their phones at the dinner table, and we've all been guilty of it. Take time for your family. Decompress. Put the internet away. If there's something that you want to say on social media, try to hold off or think and give it some time, evaluate what you're going to say, and be kind. Kindness goes a long way. You can get a lot more out of honey, as you know. And I'm just going to read some other powerful words that meant a lot to me. So being compassionate towards others, and trying to put yourself through their shoes and walking through their shoes is extremely important. Every single one of us has something that we need to work on, and being patient with each other will go a long way. 8 powerful words for the day. Believe in yourself. If you believe you can, then you will. Stay strong and believe that you can achieve. Never give up. A little progress every day adds up to big results. Be grateful. A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. Work hard. Good things come to those who hustle. Stay humble. Work hard in silence. Let success make the noise. Be kind. Kindness makes you the most beautiful person. Keep smiling. Because of your smile, you make the world more beautiful. Remember, you're not alone, and stress is amongst all of us. There are many resources out there. They're available for everybody. IamListening.org. There's other sites that are available for everybody. So if you need someone to talk to over the holidays or anytime, please feel free to reach out to all the fabulous resources out there. To our teachers, our families, students, everybody out there, take time for yourselves and reflect. Thank you. And may you please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. Let the record reflect that all school board members, superintendent, board attorney, and board clerk are present. Madam Clerk, do you have any acknowledgement forms? Okay. Superintendent, do you have any agenda modifications?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item. I'm pulling from the agenda item 6AI, facility use agreement, and that is the only modification.
Thank you. School board members, do you have any agenda modifications? Roll call for tonight. I have given you a note in front of each of you is Member Almond, Member Calderon, Vice Chair Sanchez, Member Kraus, and then myself.
I do not have any modifications. Thank you.
No modifications.
No modifications.
No modifications.
Okay, I do have 2 requests. We have 2 ITNs, number Item M, the ITM for banking services that needs a board member present. And item number N, RFQ for continuing contract for HVAC commissioning and assessment services, and would like board member representation on both of those, if anyone would like to volunteer.
I'd be willing to do the banking if scheduling permitted.
Okay,
And I can do the
the HVAC. Okay, thank you. Okay, no other modifications. Do we have a motion for approval of the agenda outline?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. And we have recognitions now, if we'd like to all join up in the front.
Good evening, Ms. Pennock, school board members, Ms. Beeman, and thank you for this opportunity for us to recognize the Seminole County Public Schools Veteran of the Month for December of 2021 from the United States Army, Staff Sergeant Juan Diaz from Kearns Academy. Juan Alfredo Diaz Cruz graduated from Dr. Pila High School in Ponce, Puerto Rico in 1977. Shortly thereafter, he enlisted in the United States Army in January of '79 and completed basic at Fort McClellan, Alabama. Following basic, Mr. Diaz stayed at Fort McClellan, graduating from the Military Police Academy in April of the same year. From there, Private First Class, Diaz served in active duty back in his home of Puerto Rico, where he served with the 225th Military Police Company at Camp Salinas. During this time, PFC Diaz participated in the Golden Pistol maneuvers back at Fort McClellan, and later was dispatched for the Cuban refugee crisis at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, to serve as translator for the Army and the Red Cross. At the conclusion of his active service in February of '83, Mr. Diaz was promoted to specialist. He immediately transferred to the Ohio National Guard. On October 19, 1984, Mr. Diaz married his bride of 34 years, Magali Torres, starting their family of 4 children and now 3 grandchildren. During this time in Ohio, now Sergeant Diaz was activated to Camp Castle, Honduras, in Central America, working safety and security while assisting the Army Corps of Engineers to construct infrastructure and housing for the Hondurans. While in Honduras, Sergeant Diaz was recognized by the Deputy Task Force Commander for distinguished service, working long and arduous hours under adverse conditions to benefit the welfare and morale of the entire camp. Later, Sergeant Diaz was activated again to work safety and security for graduation of cadets at United States Military Academy at West Point. While in Ohio, Mr. Diaz began working for Cleveland Public Schools as a bilingual instructional aide for 13 years at 3 different schools, providing mentorship, guidance, and discipline for Spanish-speaking students. In the late 80s, Sergeant Diaz began a military occupational specialty transition from military police to food services. In July of '95, then Staff Sergeant Diaz received the Army Commendation Award from the commander of the 137th Supply and Service Battalion for outstanding service as the first cook for the 135th Military Police Company at Camp Grayling, Michigan. During this time, Staff Sergeant Diaz served as mess sergeant supervising 19 cooks at the General's Dining Facility. In 1998, the Diaz family relocated to Deltona, Florida, and Staff Sergeant Diaz transferred to the Florida Army National Guard in Daytona Beach, where he retired from military service in January of 2000. Diaz was hired by Seminole County Public Schools in the Transportation Department as a bus driver in 2007. Later in the same year, he began working as a security officer at Endeavor School under Kathy Lloyd's leadership until the fall of 2017 when Mr. Diaz transferred to the Crooms Academy of Information Technology, where he currently serves as our school safety guard. Diaz comes through in the clutch whenever and wherever he is needed. No job is too big or too small. He's willing to pick up night shifts, working with the custodial staff at the last minute to cover for an absent colleague after opening campus in the morning and serving all day as our safety guard. On occasion, Mr. Diaz draws from his food services time in the military and caters events for our teachers and staff. I'll never forget his delicious traditional paella served from a full-size pan, and I'm certain I'm not alone among the teachers and staff at Crooms. At home, my home, I like to tell my wife the many events of the day at Crooms, and more often than not, Mr. Diaz will come up. My wife will then say a common refrain I've heard many times over these 5 years he and I have worked together. "You can't ever lose Mr. Diaz." And to that I reply, I most certainly do not intend to. With Mr. Diaz today is his aunt, Estelle, son, Juan Diaz Jr., his daughter, Letitia Diaz, and his lovely granddaughter, Julissa. If you guys, where are you guys at? There you go. As on your recognition as SCPS Veteran of the Month.
Board members and Ms. Beeman, elementary education is very excited to announce 3 new assistant principals tonight. The first one is Sharon Klein. Sharon. Mrs. Klein has been an educator for over 20 years in the state of Florida. She's previously worked in Seminole and Indian River counties as an ESE teacher, staffing resource specialist, elementary teacher, and an instructional coach. Mrs. Klein states she is honored to serve all students at Evans Elementary. Her family members in attendance tonight are her husband, William Klein, and son, Noah Stevens. Welcome, Sharon Klein is the new assistant principal at Evans Elementary.
Assistant principal is at Forest City Elementary School, and that is Julianne Keating. Ms. Keating, you come on down. Nearly 25 years in education with a master's degree in instructional technology and educational leadership. She has worked for Seminole County Public Schools for 6.5 years. Prior to joining Forest City, she taught 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade in New Jersey, North Carolina, and Florida. We're glad she came to Florida. Most recently, she has served as the instructional coach at Pardon Elementary School, and now we're really happy to welcome her to Forest City Elementary School. With her tonight is her husband, Tim Keating, and her daughter, Ava Keating. Her sons, Ethan and Tyler, couldn't make it tonight, but I'm sure they're really happy for her. And Mr. Avellino, her new principal, is very happy that she's with him at Forest City Elementary. Our third, find us Keating. And our third new assistant principal is Megan Boza, and she is our new AP at Elementary education from Eastern Michigan University. Master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Central Florida. Go Knights. She taught middle school math for 9 years, including pre-algebra, algebra, and geometry. She was a math teacher of the year in Orange County Public Schools in 2019 for her flipped model teaching, algebra and geometry scores, and unique teaching style. We're so happy she came to Seminole County. Yeah. She was a math coach, and for the past 3 years, she's been a dean of students, and now she has joined the staff at Carolina Elementary School, where she's helping Mr. Augusto. Her husband, Mario Boza, is here with her tonight, as well as Mr. Augusto. Congratulate all three of our new elementary assistant principals.
All right, and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Kristen Thole, our new facilitator in the ePathways department. College in Dublin, Kristen Thole spent several years working in the private sector and business world. Kristen's affinity for working with exceptional students and alternative programs then took center stage as she earned her master's degree in education in 2002. Since that time, Kristen has worked in a variety of diverse classrooms and programs, from running teacher training grant programs for Native Americans in Arizona to teaching school-to-work transition classes and teaching reading and literacy skills to students of all ages. Most recently, Kristen has been working for SCPS as an instructional coach, both at the school and district level. Kristen is passionate about embarking on her new journey with ePathways, where she will be blending her experience from the real world with her experience in mentoring and coaching both teachers and young future leaders of tomorrow. With her tonight is her security detail. It is her partner, William Stanley, Chuck Thole, her brother, and Gerald Thole, her father. So we are so glad to have Kristen joining the ePathways team. Also here with us tonight is Kristen's direct supervisor, ePathways coordinator, Allie Hilliard.
Great security.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Beeman. Tonight, we will recognize 21 students who participated in our 3 Seminole County Public Schools summer programs. Let's Read Seminole encourages students to read during the summer months and delivers books throughout Seminole County on our bookmobile. Math Quest is a series of fun and engaging activities to encourage students to investigate math in the real world. Inscribed is a writing initiative designed to keep students scribing through the summer months. This past summer, students were challenged to write creatively about friendship. At the end of the summer, students submit program assignments and their reading logs to their school sites. Schools draws 2 names for each summer program to submit to the district for a chance to win a district grand prize. Tonight, we are honoring these winners who are watching remotely this evening. Congratulations, students and parents. We would like to first thank our sponsors, the Department of Teaching and Learning, the SCPS Wellness Department, and the Foundation for Seminole County Public Schools. Our first winner is Holly McDevitt from Walker Elementary. Paloma Ruffing from Lawton Elementary. Michaela Dice, Rock Lake Middle School. Land Tuscaloosa Middle School. Solomon Draggers, Oviedo High School. Catherine McCullough, Oviedo High School. Seminole winners. Our next winners are our Math Quest winners. From Lawton Elementary, Sarah Grace Allen. Elementary, Ashwin Kapoor. From Sable Point Elementary, Ian McLeod. Sable Point Elementary, Theodore Collins. From Walker Elementary, Stella Parente. From Bentley Elementary, Yun Umasudin. From Jackson Heights, Tanvi Pandy. From Rock Lake Middle School, Gianna Scalis. Prescribed, and I believe this is our first year of doing a summer writing initiative. Our winners are Sable Point Elementary, Brooklyn Dutrell. James Betts. From Wilson Elementary, Chloe Kusick. Elementary, Cassia Dever. From Sable Point Elementary, Jacob Nawatney. Charles Middle, Emily Peets. Jackson Heights Middle, Emma Clark. That's it for our winners. Thank you all so much.
Just want to say it for the first time. Good evening, Chair Pinnock, Vice Chair Sanchez, school board members, and Ms. Beeman. So thank you so much for having us this evening for our Focused on Student Achievement. A couple of things just as we get started. Oftentimes we talk in this district about return on investment. And return on investment, when we talk about programs and experiences for kids, we want to know that every dollar spent yields $5 in benefit to a kid. And so as Mr. Patrick and his students from Sci-High will show to you tonight, the work that they have collectively completed really represents that return on investment for giving our kids the voice and the agency to take bold steps and support their peers in that college readiness experience. The other thing that resonated with me as we got up here today, Ms. Sanchez, your invocation when we talk about kindness. So important, but when you add kindness and brilliance, you just have this winning combination. And so you'll hear from two kind, brilliant students who are going to wow you with their experiences. We are so proud of them. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and I will turn it over to Mr. Patrick.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us and giving us this opportunity to speak to you about our college fair and speak about Sci-High. So again, thank you. So my name is Jesse Patrick. I'm the coordinator at Sci-High, and you will get a chance in just a moment to speak with two of our students, Miss Catherine Wolf, Mr. Hudson Deppen. This is a senior and a junior at Sci-High. So today I wanted to talk about again how Sci-High really. I'm going to focus on a very particular bit, and that's where every student will graduate from high school prepared for the future as a lifelong learner and a responsible citizen. So to really take that, I'm going to break it down a little bit more and focus on every student being prepared. Our college fair fits into that vision. So there's a lot of things that Seminole County Public Schools already does. So it's not like we're trying to fix a problem, not at all. So during the students' K through 12 journey, we do a lot already. So we have our IB program, we have AP dual enrollment programs already within our school system. We have programs of emphasis like Sci-High. We have Seminole County Virtual School, and we have ways for students that want to go straight into a career with our CT programs. We have students that are really pushing high achievers and get great opportunities for college within our AP and dual enrollment. And then we have students that, again, prefer learning at more of a home-based setting with our virtual school. So we're doing a lot to support our students in those fields. And we also have ways of supporting our students in terms of getting them to graduate. We say every student will graduate, and we support them along the way within, again, their K through 12 journey. Done throughout the year for free for our students. We have summer school opportunities. We have credit recovery opportunities. We have intensive supports in math, and we're doing, again, lots of great things. We feel there's a niche within that that we can do, and I'll talk about that. Other things that we do, I just want to recognize those things. Again, ePathways does a great internship expo to get our students into that career field and get that hands-on experience, and they do a wonderful job at that. And then my time as a college and career strategist at Sci-High taught me so much about the wonderful work that our guidance counselors do for our students. I was coming from the classroom, and I kind of got a glimpse at that field, and they just amaze me every day with the incredible amount of work they do to support our students, not just with connecting with college and career, but also providing emotional support for our students as well, and guidance with their academics, and they just do a wonderful. There's a lot of things that we're doing to support our students, and again, where I want to kind of bring in where our niche fits, I want to kind of talk about my background a little bit to kind of let you know where this need came from. So I taught at Lyman High School for about 10 years, and during that time when I was at Lyman, I helped build a college and career program at the school. And during that time, I had multiple opportunities to speak with students and families, and I had lots of questions that would seem very basic at the time, but also it shows me there's a high need, and those questions were about how do I pay for college? How do I apply for college? What's a FAFSA? What does that mean? What is a grant? What is a loan? And during that time, I'm like, wow, we really have a need to support our students and our families in that process. So not only do I feel that way personally through my personal experiences, but I like to use Trio Connections to Central Florida, which is a wonderful partner of ours. They are funded through the U.S. Department of Education to fit that exact same need. And they were actually at the college fair, and they supported our families, and we had some wonderful feedback that I'll share with you in a moment. But that was where I felt there was a need. There was a need that we can still help fill and fulfill for our students and our families, and that's what brought in our college fair. This is actually the second annual college fair. Last year we did do a completely virtual fair. We advertised and had RSVPs. I said there was over 1,000 attendees. We actually had about 1,800 RSVP last year, so there was a lot. And this year we went more of a hybrid model. As you can see, we had a virtual sessions Monday through Friday. We had 80 sessions during that virtual component, and we had 42 colleges presenting during that time frame. Then we had our in-person fair on October 23rd. At that time, we had 25 colleges from in and out of state. And we also had our Trio Connections seminars going on throughout the entire 4-hour in-person event. To help advertise this was advertised to all Seminole High School families. We did advertising. Michael Lawrence did a wonderful job supporting us and getting the word out to all students and families from 9th through 12th grade. And we had, as I said, about over 500 RSVP'd, and we had over 1,000 estimated in attendance. I say estimated because it was hard to count the number of people that were there during the event. So during this time, we had 3 rooms, and one room was focused solely on our in-state colleges, and I know Miss Catherine Wolford will explain that process of organizing those rooms in just a moment. And we also had a room for all our out-of-state colleges, and then we had a room separated just for our rolling sessions that ran again for all 4 hours. And those rooms were full to the brim throughout the entire time. So that was the greatest part, is we were full. All our colleges were busy speaking with students. Great hours during that event, and that does not include the virtual sessions. I just don't have pictures for those to showcase the time that they spent speaking with our students and families. So some of the feedback that we received, and obviously I have lots of feedback to share, but I want to be selective, and I want to really pick some feedback that speaks highly of the work that our students did. So some of our college, some of the feedback they gave was how great the setup was, how great the space was, the signage, and that has a lot to do with Catherine and the work that she did in organizing this event from a student component. We also talked about the information. They loved the information that was shared on our Sci-Hi website, which Hudson did a great job of organizing as well. And then again, there's lots of feedback that was very similar about enjoying how organized the event was, the planning and the execution. And a lot of times when they give that feedback, they may not realize that students played a very large role in all those things that they thought were so great. And they were, it's not that they just thought that. And then we had some of our students and our families give some feedback, again, speaking highly of how the trio did an amazing job explaining the process to apply for college. Again, showcases, again, that need that, again, I felt, the U.S. Department of Education felt, and we're providing those services to as many students. Also, just talking about how it was just very well done. The kids are very excited about college now, and I like to spread that, and I'll speak about that a little bit. Our goal is to spread this and grow this fair so they don't just talk about college, but career, and we're going to continue to grow that and make it bigger year by year. But again, the goal is to make students excited, motivated to do well and even do better with talking about the participation. They love with schools, including most Florida schools, and again, more speaking about how helpful they were in describing what to study, how much it would cost, and then how enthusiastic they were. This was just a great opportunity for students instead of driving from college to college or flying, which some families are not fly across country. That takes a lot of time, money, and effort to do, and they were all in one room. So they have all those conversations back to back. So those are, again, there was multiple feedback, but that's a quick snapshot of some of the things that we heard, a lot of similar as well. And to wrap up what I wanted to speak about, again, going back to that Seminole County Public Schools need that we had, every student will be prepared for the future, and we are fitting a very special component of being prepared, understanding when I finish school or high school, how do I figure out where my next path is going to be and how do I get there? And hopefully this fair is a good starting point. And I just call it a starting point because we want to continue to grow to help our students and our families really make informed decisions. So again, our goal is to provide some clarity to the college application financial aid process, also for our students to be excited, be motivated to save money on their college visits. And as I talk about expanding horizons, there are 3,700 plus colleges and trade schools in this country to choose from. That's straight from the College Board, so I'm not making that number up. And that's a lot of choices to make. As I said, there are federal service academies, liberal arts colleges, research colleges, conservatories, trade schools, and so on. And we want our students to know everything that's out there, what their options are, so they can make informed decisions for their future. With that being said, I do want to hand this over to Catherine. She's going to talk about her role in event planning for this college fair.
So I'm Catherine Mulford. I'm a senior at Sci-Hi. I'm part of the actual founding class. In this college fair, I did hit a lot of my future ready skills from the learning problem solving. The floor plan was a big component of the college fair. As a senior who has been going to college fairs since my freshman year, I noticed it seemed to be a trend where every table was touching each other. The reps hardly had any room to move behind each other. The tables were back to back. And it was just a lot of movement in a little bit of space. Families trying to juggle through the papers, trying to figure out what they're going to do next, off to the side, not really having an area to go. So when I was designing the floor plan, it was important to me to incorporate this. So none of the tables were touching. All of it was wide open walkways. The reps had room to move. The reps had chairs. There was a lounge area when you first walked in the door with books on the college process. Just a place where families could sit and gather their thoughts before they even entered into the college fair or when they were exiting. from the interaction and communication colleges before and during the event. I printed out a list of every single college in Florida, and I called every single one of them and asked them if they wanted to attend the college fair. And we did gain a lot of colleges from that, from the growing standpoint. The sound, so we did not have a speaker with a microphone like the traditional way it worked. So we did have to kind of jerry-rig the sound through an amp. And we only had that in the out-of-state college room. So when we had our trio breakout sessions, I would have to go into the other room, kind of share the news that the next one was starting. And again, back to that floor plan in the Florida room. I noticed, again, at all of these other college fairs that the Florida schools, they're jam-packed. It's kind of the thing, you live in Florida, you're kind of going to want to go to UCF, you're going to want to go to UF. And it was important to me, again, not to end up with this huge mosh pit, especially in this time of COVID. So we actually laid out tape on the floor so that they would know exactly where their line was. There wasn't any confusion. I'm going to this school, and I'm in that line. So even the reps weren't able to get confused, and everybody could hear each other. So a good thing happened for my future at this college fair. Virginia Tech was in attendance. Virginia Tech is top 4 in the nation for hospitality and resort management. That is what I'm hoping to go study. And they invited me up to visit the campus and speak with their hospitality house. I went about 2 weeks ago during the weekend, and the director of the hospitality house has told me that he's going to fast track my application, and he hopes to see me in the fall. And the following week after that, out of the blue, I did get a call from the head of their master's college, and all he told me is I have to enroll in my first class and he'll accept me into the graduate program, which I will be getting my master's. I'll be getting my master's within the 5 years, double counting my classes. Off to Hudson from there.
Awesome. Okay. As Mr. Patrick mentioned, my name is Hudson Deppen. I'm a junior at Sci-Hi. Just wanted to start off with saying that there are so many avenues that Sci-Hi provides to their students. One in particular was this website design. There was just so much that I was able to do with this. I started designing this website by testing different variations in Adobe Illustrator, and then I took that idea to implement it into the website. Luckily, I had experience in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript coding, which helped with the project. As for the images, I was able to use a program called Blender, which is a computer graphics software, which helped with that process. Although none of this would have come together without experience. Luckily, as a Sci-Hi student, they provide their students with this experience, such as like the resources, guidance, and time to do so. Also, alongside of this design, I was able to expand. I've been able to attend an interview with the City of Sanford Communications Office. So there again, that's just like one of the experience that Sci-Hi provides their students. Additionally, I do have a video on the next slide showcasing some of my work that I've done over this year. Go. It was quickly done. It was kind of like thrown together, but thank you.
One more time.
Okay, guys, I would like to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak about this experience. I can't wait to share with you some future experiences. Hi, so thank you.
I love the practical aspect of it, just common sense. It sounds like you're a parent talking to these kids, asking them the questions, and I hope you'll track these kids in the future and encourage them to let you know their successes.
Do have their email, so that would be easy to do.
Well done. I heard about the program last year and how successful it was. Good job, kiddos, and we're very proud of you. This is such a service for our district. Thank you.
Catherine, amazing. You are very well spoken, a leader among adults even. Well done. Very proud of you. Congratulations on Virginia Tech. And Hudson, Michael Lawrence is sitting over there, who works in is our director of communications. Sitting here watching your presentation, that's a really great pathway that I think he always has an opportunity to have great experience. And so congratulations. It's very exciting to see this real hands-on. And that's what Sci-Hi is all about, is that hands-on experience. And this is wonderful to see. So kudos to all. Thank you. Okay, we have, moving on to items for discussion. Board members, do you have any comments? Ms. Almond?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Dr. Calderon?
No, ma'am.
Vice Chair Sanchez?
No comments. Oops.
Member Kraus?
No comment. Thank you.
And I have no comments either. And so we will move into public comment. And our first two will be J.J. Holmes and then Allison Holmes. Oh, yes, sorry. Vice Chair Sanchez, if you'd please read the statement.
All right. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged. A public comment opportunity is not, however, an open forum to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or the public. Also, public comment is not a forum to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segment of the meeting may not be used for any other purposes, including presentation of political and/or campaign issues, matters involving disciplinary actions, pending employee disciplinary matters, or pending claims, complaints, or litigation against the district or district personnel. Participants are required to engage in meaningful but civil communications. The presiding officer of the board and/or parliamentarian may order the removal of any person interfering with the expeditious or orderly process of such meeting, provided such officer has first issued a warning that continued interference with the orderly processes of the meeting will result in removal. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually. Each statement made by a member of the public shall be limited to 3-minute duration. A designated group representative will have a maximum of 6 minutes. No speaker may yield his or her time to any other person. This policy does not prohibit the board from maintaining orderly conduct or proper decorum in a public meeting. Thank you.
Give a shout out to the 3 board members who voted. Superintendent Beeman, members of the school board. My name is J.J. Holmes, and first I want to give a shout out to the 3 board members who voted to put me in virtual school. Because virtual school is supposedly parent choice, the district won't adapt my work, and because you're not adapting my work, I can only do one subject: English. All day, every day. The rest of my subjects, ASL, math, science, and history, are impossible. I I've been a student in Seminole County Public Schools since kindergarten. After my parents enrolled me in my zoned elementary school, an administrator tried to put me in a class for 3-year-old toddlers with special needs. At the time, I was 5 years old and totally ready for kindergarten. Luckily, there was a law that meant I had the right to an education that was appropriate for me, and I started kindergarten with my peers. In elementary, middle, and high school, I've had teachers, therapists, and paraprofessionals who all focus on what I can do and not the things I can't. Before I was voted out of high school, I was on the debate team. Me, a boy in a wheelchair who uses a communication device. On the debate team? Yes, because that teacher recognized that, despite my disability, I am just as capable as any other high schooler. I have so many good memories from being a student in SCPS. Or I should say, I had so many good memories. Before 3 board members decided to follow a radical, extremist governor instead of following the law. Now my overriding memory will always be of being discarded like a used Kleenex by 3 members of my school board, because I have a disability. Happy holidays.
My name's Alison Holmes. A school board member recently encouraged violence, threats and intimidation at our school board meetings, and she asked for a statement to be put on record. The board member was objecting to a letter from the National School Board Association, a letter that strongly condemns violence in school board meetings. The letter is pushing for peaceful, constructive, open dialogue between parents and schools. Now, the board member didn't actually mention any of the contents of the letter. However, the letter she's talking about is one that unequivocally condemns all the violent behaviour that these newly formed groups are bringing to school board meetings. And this is what the board member said about the letter, quote, "I want to make it clear that what was described in that letter does not represent my views." This board member has witnessed others up here being viciously targeted in these meetings. She's watched numerous school employees being savaged, and she's watched teachers being maligned. She's seen parents and students being jeered, heckled and booed while speaking here. She's seen men being dragged out of these meetings by police, and she's been present during numerous meetings when recesses have had to be called because of disruptions, threats and intimidation. A significant proportion of the 83% are too scared to come to our school board meetings because of their deplorable behaviour. My child was threatened by a Liberty mom. This particular Liberty mom said in her public comment that she homeschools her daughters and described herself as a stakeholder whose sole interest is troublemaking in our school district. In a 6-page letter, there was 2 inartful words: domestic terrorist. Of course, this board member knew full well that by condemning the whole letter, the 17% who think Trump won the election, who think Q is real, who think masks are satanic, and who think Listerine cures COVID would eagerly line up at the podium to publicly thank her for denouncing the letter. And that's exactly what they did. Ironically, there's only one group that disrupts these meetings, spouts insane conspiracy theories, is dragged out by the police, and only one group that goes around threatening people. But I guess when that group is your base, and that group supports you at your non-school board events, then there's no real risk to that board member if she throws out red meat to them. She's happy to play with fire because she isn't the one who's going to get burnt.
Rachel Paz, followed by Brittany Molina, and then Raquel Molina.
Good evening, my name is Brittany Molina, and I just came to tell you, right doesn't mean much, unless you know what's right for my cousin and all children. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Raquel Molina, and this is Emily Paz. I've been in Seminole County Public School. She's been in Seminole County Public School since the age of 3. The principal, Mr. Augusto, was her principal back in Spring Lakes Elementary. We never had any issues in Seminole County Public School up until she started Lyman High School, where she was bullied by the teacher and teacher's aide. Instead of defending, protecting my child, leadership, what they did was they hid everything and they covered up the abuse. And it's very frustrating because all of you guys know, I don't think I've included her on emails, but the board members, and no one has done anything. And the ESE director has actually been retaliating against me for speaking up. Retaliation and bullying needs to stop in Seminole County Public School. All these unethical leadership needs to go out. We need good leadership in Seminole County Public School. No corruption here, especially when they're not defending our special needs daughter, the kids. ESE department is in bad shape, and these kids need something so much better. The ESE director retaliating against me for protecting my child's rights and protecting her from getting bullied and getting bullied by teachers. I have a lot more to say, but most of it has been written on paper, and you guys haven't done anything at all. And now she's going to be aging out of high school. What have you guys done for my child and for the ESE kids? Crap.
Rebecca Newman, followed by Don Baloo.
Good evening, school board members and Superintendent Beeman. My name is Rebecca Newman from Oviedo. Nothing is more important to me as a parent than my child's safety at school. I appreciate the money you have invested in additional video cameras, fencing, mental health counselors, wanding, the SRO program. But as a parent with a child at Oviedo High School who recently experienced the outbreak of fights last week and the terror of a perceived or real gun on campus during their homecoming dance in November, I can tell you that there are limits to heightened security and hardening schools. On this day, the 9th year after the Sandy Hook shooting, 32 people have been killed and 94 others injured in school gun incidents across the nation in 2021. In addition, countless moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandmas, grandpas, teachers, friends have been traumatized forever. We now know the Oxford, Michigan school shooter killed 4 students and injured 7 others in just 5 minutes, despite students practicing monthly active shooter drills and having an officer on campus. Intervention and action before a student brings a gun to school is where SCPS can help. Obviously, easy access to unsecured guns is extremely dangerous, like in Michigan or Parkland or other school shootings. Kids know where to look and often easily get their hands on these firearms. But now districts around the country are trying to help by adopting the Be Smart program from Everytown for gun safety. This educational program helps parents and guardians normalize conversations about gun safety, encourages safe storage of guns, and can even provide free gun locks. I strongly encourage you to look closely at this program. The district already uses the monthly wellness program to talk to students about unhealthy activities and important issues like vaping and teen suicide. And every other year, right before prom, high schools have an entire assembly about the dangers of drunk driving, going so far as to bring a wrecked vehicle and landing a helicopter on the football field. So the simple distribution of Be Smart materials to parents and guardians is just another tool in your toolbox as you help them make good, responsible, safe gun storage choices and perhaps prevent the next gun tragedy at school. A wise person said, "True prevention is not waiting for bad things to happen. It's preventing bad things from happening in the first place." You can do more. I hope you will choose to do so. Thank you.
Good evening. It's been quite a while since I've been with you in person, but I feel very fortunate to be with you tonight. And as Rebecca said, I want to acknowledge that today is the 9-year mark of Sandy Hook. My name is Dawn Baloo. I live in Winter Springs, and I think it's only fair that you know where I come from as a stakeholder in this county. I've lived in Seminole County for more than 20 years. I'm a former public school teacher. I'm a parent of 2 Seminole County students who've gone K through currently 10th grade. So I have quite a bit of experience in the county. I also am currently a student communications professional with Valencia College. So both personally and professionally, I believe in public education. I'm committed to public education in Seminole County, and I believe together in partnership with community members, with our law enforcement agencies, and with the school district, we can make schools safer from gun violence than they are today. And I do believe we have made great progress since Sandy Hook. In particular, this county was known as leading the way. You started very early in protecting our schools and building the relationships with our law enforcement agencies. You were ahead of the game when it came to Parkland. We already had many security features in place. And then you were able to increase and improve and have been diligent about improving security and school safety as long as I've been a part of this district. And I thank you for that. But as my friend Rebecca and my colleague, well, yeah, actually we are colleagues, aren't we, Rebecca? We both work at Valencia, coincidentally. As Rebecca mentioned as well, though, there is a piece missing. In the recent Secret Service security report on school safety, they indicated, as have many other resources, that when guns make it to school campuses, they often come from home. Students or former students get access at home. We're talking 3/4 of the guns that come to school come from our homes. And as a person that has a gun in their home, I believe it is the adult's responsibility to secure firearms so that students, minors who are unsupervised, do not have access to them. The Secret Service report also recommends that all stakeholders be trained. Well, we've done quite a bit of work training our students, but what have we done to train our parents? And while, adults have agency, we can inform and educate and lead. just like we did in a public service announcement for wearing seatbelts in the 70s, for child drownings more recently. We can inform our parents that securing weapons is just another way to keep our families safe, to keep our schools safe. And yes, the Be Smart program, which I've spoken to you about before several times in past years, but this is the time. The Michigan shooting revealed so painfully the risks of inaction. So please consider it, and I thank you for your time. In partnership, we can make our schools safer, including, I happen to know, I've confirmed in person with our local law enforcement, their Project Child Safe has free gun locks available. So if we can inform parents and connect them with that resource, our schools will be safer, so will our communities. Thank you.
And that concludes public comment for the evening. On the consent agenda, Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I do, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We had no items removed for separate consideration. Superintendent, are we disciplinaring? Yeah. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation for discipline hearings?
Madam, yes, I do, that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from November 8, 2021.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
There's an indication that there was a public comment that was missed. Is there something that was turned in?
We have no more.
Yeah, mine,
Oh, that was, you were called at the beginning as second. Yeah. Okay. Yep, go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, go ahead, sir. I apologize.
Yeah. All right. My name is Ciel Paz. I live in Seminole County for more than 28 years. And I have my daughter in Seminole County Public School. My wife told at the age of 3 years. She's 21 years old right now, but I don't want to touch that right now. I just want to, I'm sorry about my English, it's not 100% good. But I just want to check something, ask something to the board members and how we need to try to stop the division and brainwash in our childs in the schools. That's my full concern, because I come from a country, I lived 27 years, maybe you guys know who is Cuba, okay? I come from a communist regime 30 years ago to this country, this beautiful country, and I saw now that's something that I have in my brain. Thank you, sweetheart. And I see, a lot of division, because if you are white, you are black. That's something that in our country you don't see that, because we grow, together. Doesn't matter if you are black or you're white, but I see some kind of division right now in the schools and in this country that is, some symptoms that communist regimes, and we don't want this in this beautiful country. I come here looking for freedom, and that's what I have right now, and I see all these changes and divisions and all that, and I say, what is going on in here? And I see that in the school systems and in the street. You see how everything is changing every single day from about a year and a half to now. And I just want to ask to the board members what we need to do to stop that. Thank you so much. That's my only concern.
Okay, we have no unfinished business. We do have several items for new business. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I do. That the School Board of Seminole County adopt Resolution 2021-07, revising and amending school board member residence areas as presented. And board members, as you know, the county has approved their the redistricting efforts, and we follow those same redistricting efforts. And I wanted to outline the changes before you vote. District 1, no changes. District 2, no changes. District 3, as far as schools, the District 3 gained Rock Lake Middle School. District 4 lost Rock Lake Middle School, gained Crystal Lake Elementary. And the change in District 5 was the loss of Crystal Lake. So those are the changes that are represented in the map that is included in the board book and part of the recommendation.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent, do you have a motion for item B?
Yes, I do. That the School Board of Seminole County continue to utilize Amendment 2 to Agreement 151600555P-A2DW with Sun Life Assurance Company of Canada for all dental plans for the 2022 plan year, prepaid $225, Freedom Basic and Freedom Preferred plans with no increase in premium.
So moved. Dr. Calderon.
If I could, please, I will be abstaining from voting pursuant to Florida statute, section 112.3143, and to avoid even the appearance of a conflict, I'm abstaining from this vote as it may result in a special gain or loss for a relative of mine.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
A second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation for item C?
Yes, that the chairman assign school board members to serve on various committees, groups, agencies, and boards.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation for item D?
Yes, that the School Board of Seminole County take such action as is required by Section 4 CSHB 909, amending Section 194.015 Florida statutes for providing for membership of the Seminole County Value Adjustment Board by electing a school board member and appointing a qualified citizen as members of the VAB for 2021.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent, do you have a report?
The report is a read-only and is included in the agenda book.
Wonderful. We are at board comments, so Member Almond.
Thank you. I haven't been first to comment in a long time, and I usually, by the time it gets to me, I don't have a whole lot to say. Last week, we had the privilege of surprising our Teacher of the Year finalists from Oviedo High School, Wekiva Elementary, and Millennium Middle, and it was a great way to start the week, that was for sure. We also, I'll just talk about today, this afternoon we had a workshop on the school improvement plan, and thank you to Kelly Thompson and Sarah Borowski, as well as all the administrators who put so much time and effort into our plans to improve student performance. And I am concluding my comments. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And everyone have a safe, happy, fun, relaxing winter break.
Dr. Calderon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I forwarded to each of the board members all the attachments from our recent SHAC committee meeting because there's so much information disseminated. I felt it's best for you to review on your own. We had our Orlando Science Center board meeting last night and proud to announce that they were awarded a $1.6 million shuttered venue grant. So they're able to continue to expand their services and education to all of our students. And if any families are interested, they are still taking registrations for their holiday camps if you would like your children to continue with their science journeys. I wanted to give a shout out to our Dazzlers. They put on a great dance show in collaboration with Millennium Middle School, their new dance program, so that was a wonderful event. And our Leadership Seminole hosted education this month, and the reviews came in very, very strong, and I just wanted to thank all the educators and administrators and teachers that participated that day. We got a lot of positive feedback from our community. Thank you to Allie's Hope, doing their biggest fundraiser of the year, knowing that many of those funds come and support our students in their mental health journey. And Markham Woods Middle School hosted a Living on My Own program facilitated through our community involvement program, and that was very well attended. All of the community volunteers thanked us for allowing them to participate, and I think the kids learned a lot that day. Our CROOMS interviews have just recently concluded, and I wanted to thank all the community business leaders that interviewed all of our graduating seniors at CROOMS, and I was able to represent the entire board at the recent leadership conference with all of our student leaders that was hosted at Seminole High School, and all of the students are very, very engaged and active this year and thrilled to be face-to-face. So I think we'll see great things and great feedback from student voice, which we saw here today is exceptional in every way. And with that, I just want to wish our staff, our community, our students, teachers, a wonderful holiday season, and take time for you.
All right, Vice Chair.
All right, so the Asian Lantern Festival is still going on. I know I have your tickets. Yes, I do. I was going to print them up actually for you. I can do that. So their tickets are still on sale. There's no zoo without you, so hopefully you can go to this wonderful event. It is from now until January. It's still taking place, and it's an opportunity for all of you to experience the wonderful zoo and the Asian Lantern Festival. Christine Kraus and I and Chairman Pennick and I went to the Florida School Board Association conference. Was it last week? Mm-hmm. Last week? I can remember. And it was full of a lot of wonderful trainings. We went through some training for vice chair and chair training, and then there were multiple trainings on mental health, different avenues of what we need to do with school violence. And speaking of that, tomorrow we will be having a closed session on school safety and security. And, you know, I know it means a lot to me as well as every single person in this room and everybody that's listening, and zero tolerance, period. We need to get to the bottom of this, and we need to all work together. On any other notes of Ms. Beeman and I, as well as Dr. Wysong and Dr. Gar-Harold, we had an opportunity to go to the mosque in Sanford the other day, and we had a wonderful visit there, discussed many of the different culture and diversities, and some wonderful food and great conversation. If you ever have an opportunity, you must check out. It's so beautiful and just an amazing, warm, friendly atmosphere. And please learn about others and diversity, because remember, we're all from the same tree. We're just different leaves. And what else did I want to say? I think that's basically it. Because they all mentioned about Teachers of the Year, Allie's Hope. We did raise a lot of money. I sit on the board for that. And holiday concerts that have been happening were awesome too. Thank you.
Member Sanchez, or Member Kraus, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's been a busy past 2 weeks. I attended a master planning session with our public library system. They're every 10 years, I guess, once they do the census, and they wanted to know how we could collaborate. You know, what were our needs, how do we work together? And one of the things that I emphasized with them is the ability to find factual information, that is a skill that all of us could use, because anyone can put anything on the web and you believe it. So that was one of the things. I have a form that I can share with you to print out if the board clerk would be willing to do that. And the community stakeholders are invited to participate. It's on the Seminole County Library website. They want your input for their planning purposes. And I think the superintendent also participated in that as well, and Dr. Weissong. The Business Advisory Board supported the Giving Tree this year. That was our December meeting, and then they went to Topgolf. I was not able to go because I was at the Florida School Boards Association. We had a joint work session with Seminole State College and several elected officials. We have such a strong collaboration with them and a pathway for success for our students, and I just always feel so revived when I leave there about, yes, we're going to do this for our kiddos. I attended a Zoom, the League of Women Voters, with Donna Walsh and Alan Harris. They gave updates on numbers that they're seeing. The new Omicron variant apparently is in Seminole County. Alan Harris wasn't as worried about that as the Delta variant. He said his biggest worry is if we're gathering for the holidays, try and do things outside, protect grandma, because what they're seeing is the elderly are very susceptible. So that was his advice, just protect each other, use common sense. We did the Florida School Boards Association, some of the breakout sessions. One thing that I wanted to share with the board, they emphasize that in our meetings, our job is to educate kids, and we need to keep track of they suggested that half of every meeting should focus on student achievement. And I am proud to say we are doing that already. I don't want to lose that, but that is our task. That is our job. How lucky we are to do that. And so let's just keep that in mind. I attended the Lake Howell Silver Regiment on Friday night. Excellent performance. It breaks my heart that they have to do it in sections because their stage isn't big enough. Outstanding talent, and they've grown the program. They sort of have a pipeline from both South Seminole and Tuscaloosa Middle, and Mr. Ulrich at Tuscaloosa Middle was even there to support some of his students. It was fabulous. The Children's Cabinet is my final comment. I'm sorry, it's so much. It has been busy, folks. They are identifying the 4 pillars of areas in our county where we're missing either gaps in services, lack of information. So I'm serving on the Education Committee along with our attorney, Carlene Palmer. There's several others about areas that we can identify, like they said earlier, the rose, the bud, the thorn. How can we work to get communication and do better? There are a lot of things going well, but there's also some gaps. So to our staff, please enjoy your families. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This has not been easy for anybody this year, and you deserve to unplug and just hug each other tight. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I just have a few. I attended voter registration at Lake Mary High School, and it was so much fun listening to the kids. We have a bright future with these kids. It was a lot of fun to get their feedback and go through that process. As Member Sanchez said, I've attended some of the various music programs celebrating around the holidays, and it's the overwhelming word I'm hearing from parents is it's so nice to be here in person. It's so nice to see this in person. It's so nice to be back. Thank you to our community. Miss Mills in the Community Involvement Department are providing 800 students today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, with gift cards and gifts to celebrate Christmas. And that couldn't have happened without the help of the community, our staff. Amazing support there. They have a few additional that they are anticipating helping 300 additional students over the next week, on top of the 800 that were on the Giving Tree. So thank you to everyone who helped. Earlier today, I forwarded you guys an email from FSBA regarding legislation that is out there requesting advocacy for full federal funding for IDEA, which would be a huge blessing to every district, including ours. So if you have a link, if our community could advocate, federal funding for IDEA would be just a life changer for so many. Saturday night, I attended the Sanford Parade with many of our students, our schools. They were having so much fun, the celebrations. And I happened to be sitting next to a woman who, just totally random, was a retiree from Goldsboro. And every single school that came by, she was cheering and screaming for all of them. And maybe next year we can get the physics bus to go through the parade with a bunch of our kids and staff to walk through. I think it would be a nice, fun representation to be involved. And that's it for me. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's. I hope each and every one of you unplug and refresh, and I look forward to seeing you next year. And this meeting is adjourned.